MOCHA Talk. I'm Denise Bunning, and thanks to FARE for creating this safe space for us to chit-chat about various monthly topics. As a former teacher, support group leader, and of course, food allergy mom, welcome to the holiday end of the year edition! I can't believe that the holidays are here and that we are almost at the end of 2021. The year flew by, and while it has still been a bit of an up and down year with uncertainty, it has also been filled with amazing things, specifically for our food allergy community. And with that, I would love to introduce my three fabulous guests, all of whom work very closely with the food allergy community every day. So let me get started with our first guest, Lisa Gable, CEO of FARE, food allergy supporter and author, an amazing woman. We are so excited to have you, and I can't believe you haven't been on this show before, but I'm so thrilled that you're here today. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your connection to food allergies? Take it away.
Well, so great to be part of MOCHA Talk and so fun to be talking to this particular group, and so thrilled for all the amazing shows that Denise has done with her team during 2021, because really it brings a whole new level of excitement and interest. And I have to say, these are the most entertaining videos that we make at FARE, and I enjoy watching them so much. So, I've been at FARE for about 3.5 years, and it's been an amazing experience. And one of the most exciting things is seeing all of the wonderful success that was really started over the last 10 years. We're almost 10 years old, and it has been a time when you look at all the changes that have happened on behalf of food allergy communities that each and every one of you have helped contribute to, whether it's having people make accommodations in schools or people now at restaurants asking you whether or not you have food allergies, and the amazing work that we're doing in research. I'm just thrilled to be part of it. So thanks.
Thank you so much for taking time. And I love your holiday red, very beautiful.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, so our next guest is Kristi Grim, Senior Director of Programs, Dining Services, FARECheck, and the College Program. Wow, that's a lot. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your connection to food allergies? Take it away.
I just shorten my title to Senior Director of Programs because it's much easier. I have been at FARE for actually, I think 8 years in January, so pretty long time. I work very closely with a lot of our patient community, and particularly, and one of my favorite parts of my job, with our teen groups. So we have over 200 teens in our teen advisory group. I work a lot with them. And so I just love it. I think it's great to be able to support this community and really see the work that we do impact their lives and improve things.
Wonderful. Thank you again for all your work for the 8 years. It's always so fun to work with you. And I love myself, obviously, I love being with the kids. That's my passion, as everybody knows. Okay, so, and now last but certainly not least is Jonathan Kane, Creative Director at FARE, food allergy supporter. Jonathan, welcome back to MOCHA Talk. Thank you very much for helping create this, so we can thank you for this crazy land videos that we do. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your connection to food allergies?
Thanks, Denise. And it's a real honor and a privilege to be back. As Denise mentioned, I'm Jonathan Kane. I'm the creative director here at FARE. And I'm a TV producer and content creator and storyteller by trade. I spent the last 23 years producing television, Viacom, MTV, Bravo, the BBC, American Idol. I've worked on a lot of shows for many years. And my mission at FARE, of course, is to make food allergies famous and to build community through emotional storytelling. Food allergies are like snowflakes. No two are alike, but that means that a lot of people feel very alone and isolated. And I want to make them feel they're not alone. We are all in this together, building this amazing network of caregivers and food allergy patients and doctors and researchers. And building community has just been the most beautiful thing. I had no idea when I came into FARE just about 2 years ago that I would find a real passion in this space and just a beautiful community. Kristi's just done the Lord's work with the TAG kids, and watching what they've been doing has been beautiful. We actually just launched a recipe book featuring TAG cooks, which is amazing. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'm here to educate our audience, entertain our audience, and make everyone feel a little less alone, to mitigate some of that anxiety that food allergies naturally brings.
Wonderful. Allergen-free nutshell, that is, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm thrilled that the three of you are on the show today. And the food allergy community is truly so grateful for all the work that you do. So in this episode, I thought it would be great to do a little year in review So we're going to get started. I'm going to start with you, Lisa. What are the top 3 things that FARE has accomplished this year that you are most proud of?
Well, I am proud of so much of what we've done this year. And so it's really hard to narrow it down. One of the things I'm most excited about is our seed study, which is building off of the success of the study that we did with others called the LEAP study. And what that study showed is that if you feed peanut to children with eczema, that they will actually have a reduction in those children developing food allergies. And so we are now testing that hypothesis across 8 allergens with children. We actually have a program with Dr. Ruchi Gupta, one of our favorite people in the whole wide world at Northwestern, working with 2,000 babies. And so that's a place where we could literally see the biggest drop of food allergies should the hypothesis prove to be true. But we are so grateful for Ruchi. Another big thing that we've done is we've really invested in data this year. We just launched our Data Commons Center, and our FARE Clinical Network now has over 51 members in medical institutions who are part of it. And so when you come into the doctor, 250,000 of you that visit the FARE Clinical Network, we have a way of collecting data that tells us a little bit more about the experience of the disease and allows us to really use that for conversations with governments. That information is used when people are creating therapies and diagnostics to help solve the problem of food allergies and the burden of the disease. And gosh, it's so hard to think about what's my other most favorite thing. Very excited about our relationship with the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. And I have to say that because Miss Kristi Grim is with us today, and her hard work over the last 8 years is really the whole reason for the partnership with the Dolphins. They are creating a top 8 allergen-free eating opportunity, both in their clubs as well as in the main area of the Dolphin Stadium. That's 100% due to Kristi. And I just give her so much credit for this. It's so exciting because we want all food allergy kids and families and patients to have an opportunity to enjoy sports and all the sporting venues and rock concerts and all the exciting things that go on at these stadiums. So I think that's going to be really big and change people's lives in a positive way.
My goodness, holy cow, that's so much stuff there. Okay, Kristi, what about you? Top 3 things.
So it is hard. I'm gonna selfishly focus on my area of work, and I will say, to sort of Lisa's point about the Dolphins, and it's not just me. It is a total team effort. Jonathan's team has been involved with the Dolphins relationship. A lot of people have touched that, so kudos to everyone. But for me, one of the big things that I constantly hear, in addition to the anxiety, is the sort of inclusion piece. And that's really big with our teen community. They want to be safe, they have anxiety, but also they want to be included. They want to be able to go out with their friends. They want to go to a restaurant. They want to feel safe in school. And so a lot of the work that I do focuses on that. And so that includes FARECheck, which is the program we're partnering with the Dolphins through, but we also work with colleges. We work through with K through 12 universities to provide them training and education to work towards that goal of, no matter where you are, whether you're going to a museum, whether you're going to school, whether you're going to a restaurant, that you have the ability to participate fully and not be ostracized. So seeing that program grow and expand has been a really big one for me this year. Also, we reached a huge milestone with our college search tool, which is a tool that we have put together to help provide people information as they're trying to pick a college and figure out what colleges can do to accommodate them. Again, going back to that inclusion piece, we want them to really be able to pick any college they want based on academics, or where it's located, or whatever their top criteria are. But in order to do that, they also need to understand what those schools offer to keep them safe. And so we've gathered a lot of information, and we reached 1,000 colleges this year. So we're very excited about that. A big deal. Yeah. And then also related to college, we had our 3rd annual college summit where we train for free college food service staff. We had over 5,000 locations that were represented with attendees this year. So not just colleges, but we also actually welcomed hospitals and K through 12 schools as well as some other locations. So that was really exciting to see the big reach of that program this year.
Fantastic. And, since I've had the pleasure of knowing you all of these years, all the different summits and times that you've been able to train so many different people, this is why when people say, why do you continue to do this? I'm because it's the community and helping people and meeting people where they are at that particular time in their transition of life. That's my favorite word. And that's the thing I talk about most with everyone. It's transition, whether it's from preschool to elementary to middle to high to, whatever, or after college. And so those transitions and being able to go to FARE and hear real life people. What did you do? How did you do it? It just helps so much. And the program has developed so much. So again, thank you all three of you so much. Okay, swinging back to you, Jonathan. What are the three things?
Well, before I give you my three things, I need to add two things. One to Lisa's, which was we passed the FASTER Act. We have a bill that got signed into law this year. I know it feels like forever ago, but like that was this year. That's amazing.
Gigantic.
To Kristi's talking about inclusion, one of my highlights, which isn't a top three, but I still want to mention it, is we got a phone call from the Atlanta Hawks, which is an organization we don't work with, but they called us up to work with us at the Teal Pumpkin Project as an inclusion prospect, because they wanted everyone at their stadium, or their arena rather, to be aware of this food allergies, but like how you can celebrate Halloween in a way that is inclusive, not exclusive. So they built out a Teal Pumpkin room, a suite, so that kids could go in there and grab some non-edible treats. And it was beautiful. And you've made the impact when they're calling us, which is really, I'd so much rather answer the phone than make the phone call for. But I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back, top moments of the year. I want a whole bunch of these. These are Telly Awards. And again, to pat ourselves on the back, look, we're the little engine that could FARE. I think we're an amazing organization, but we're not Microsoft, we're not McDonald's, we're not Starbucks. And yet we beat them for these awards. And I know it's a really selfish, whatever, but I feel good about that. We had nearly 1 billion impressions across our community this year. So we really are doing amazing work, building our community and making everyone feel, again, included and welcome. If you want to come for the educational resources, great. If you want to come to get some recipes, great. If you want to come to be connected to an FCN, amazing. And we're doing that, we're building that up. And our engagement, again, it's a number, it's not a human metric, but our engagement is up 800% in 18 months. So it's just been such a beautiful community building thing. Very specifically though, I want to talk about Food Allergy Awareness Week. Last year it was our most successful Food Allergy Awareness Week by a metric. We raised a lot of great money to the cause. We did some great partnership work, again, with things like the Dolphins. We did some amazing videos. We did our first ever live cooking demo, Top 9 Free, which was amazing. We did some food allergy quizzes, which were great. And of course, the other big moment in time that I'm so proud of is the Teal Pumpkin Project. And I could give you a bunch of numbers on how impressive it was. What really gets me is the personal notes that are all over our social media. Thank you so much. This is the first time my son felt included. We had no idea about this until we saw your amazing little, animation video. This is so incredible. And actually, I can tell you from a very personal POV, this past year, of course, I set up a Teal Pumpkin table at my house with glow sticks. And it was so beautiful to see neighbors come up. They didn't know about it. You start talking about it and they're like, oh yeah, milk is a top allergen. There's milk in so much candy, because people just think nuts. You're like, well, yeah, sure, but it's so much bigger than that. And so for just a local impact with my own neighbors, educating them, seeing them light up. And then of course, when they realize that glow sticks never go bad, they're like, this is actually smarter than buying candy, which expires. So it was, those are the three things: my selfish awards, Food Allergy Awareness Week, and Teal Pumpkin.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I would say my three are, I'm very grateful that my family and friends are okay. I'm inspired very much that those that continue to give their time, talent, treasure to FARE and to other philanthropic organizations. And then three, gosh, I'm really hoping that our country comes into some kind of new normal, because I really miss hugging people. So I'm a touchy-feely person and I really want to hug all of you. So now we're going to switch to 2022. And what are you most excited to be launching for the new year? So Lisa, we're going to go back to you.
Well, because you're asking me what we're excited to be launching, I can't really tell you some of the stuff that we're going to be launching in advance. But one of the things that I've been very excited about, and we're really going to see the movement on it in 2022, is the work that we're doing with WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children. And that is a program that services, I think, something like 53% or more of babies in the United States, making sure that they have the nutrients and the health requirements that they need, that families who might be in underserved communities have the support they need. And for us, being able to bring awareness about food allergies into that program that touches so many families and so many babies is important for two reasons. One is we are working so hard on Capitol Hill and also with USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, to make sure that allergen-free options are available through WIC. And so that's a critical part for families who are suffering from food allergies. But the other thing that we're also talking to them about is, I mentioned seed, and if we're able to prove that the early introduction of proteins that can trigger an allergic reaction to a baby end up mitigating the risk of that child developing food allergies, then the only way it works is if we make that food available to all children. And so with this program, starting to educate them that we're doing this, that this is really important if they want to see a decrease in food allergies, if they want to see a decrease in the Black and Brown communities, then we need to work together to make sure that those families have access to the allergens. And so I think it's probably going to be one of the things that gets me really excited and also is so impactful.
Amazing. That I just, having the inclusion piece really just kind of weaves its way through everything that FARE touches. And I think that's just so important. And I think that those of us in the food allergy community, especially during this time and upheaval, and, those of us, going on Zoom and going to the website and trying to get content while we've been home is just like that heartwarming, but also special and super important, obviously, because that's what, as you said, it's making sure that doesn't matter where you are, where you live, color of your skin, where you're from, that you have access and that it's available to you. So super important. Okay, going on to you, Kristi.
So mine actually also kind of tailors off of what Lisa said, which is I'm also really excited about the WIC work. And one of the things that my team is very focused on and has been this year, and we'll start to see some of that come into fruition next year, is providing more training opportunities for those professional audiences. So that includes WIC and the people who work for WIC. It also includes primary care physicians, nurses, physicians assistants, people who we know often the underserved community are more likely to see than an allergist. I mean, we wish that every single person had access to an amazing FCN site. The reality is we know they don't. And so they're often getting underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed, or if they're correctly diagnosed, they aren't getting proper management advice. And we know that's just because of a lack of resources and education for their PCPs. So we are focused on developing a new curriculum that we will be heavily targeting towards that market to try and make sure that at the very least, they're getting good advice and quality diagnostics, even if they can't make their first stop at an FCN site.
That's amazing. So incredibly important. Okay, flipping over to you, Jonathan.
I mean, 2022 is the 10th anniversary of FARE, and I'm just excited to tell stories, honestly. The theme of next year's connections, because FARE is this amazing super connector, that our connections are a catalyst for change, and we can show real world change, people that have gone through OIT or that have been part of these trials. It's going to be really incredible to tell deep stories from really around the world, from clinicians to parents to our tag members who are now college graduates and they're part of our Rising Leaders. One of my favorite stories from last year, which we'll tell next year again, is this amazing woman, Kiana Dorsey, who's at the University of Miami, and she went to a FARE event about 9 years ago when she was a teen, or I guess a preteen at that point. And to see where she's come today, she's working on a film about food allergies, and she'll be graduating next year. She actually has an internship at NBC this summer, which is amazing. That watching those connections come together and telling more of those stories. So I will say this, anyone watching right now, if you have a story to share, how FARE has helped impact you in a personal way, please find me. I'm easy to find on LinkedIn or anywhere really. Let's talk about it. Let's tell those stories, because our impact is not numbers in the cloud. Our impact is humans being able to live a better life. And that's just beautiful. So that's what I'm super excited about for next year.
Oh my goodness. Love, 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 love. Hugging. Okay. All right. So I am so excited to hear about all of these new FARE things. We at MOCHA are actually working on revamping our e-news so that it's a more user-friendly experience. And a shout out to my interns, because all of my interns are indeed food allergic or have food related illnesses. So giving back and having those that are impacted help us. So it's a two-way street, and I love that. So I would love to spend more time talking a little bit about your favorite holiday tradition or something that you do at New Year's, something a little personal if you wouldn't mind sharing. So back to you, Lisa.
I always get to go first. Why doesn't somebody else get to
Because
go?
it goes in a circle. You know I'm a
favorite
teacher. 1, 2, 3.
It changes, right? As your children get older. When my daughter was little, I was in charge of, you all will not be surprised. I was in charge of organizing the costumes for the church nativity program. and they all appreciated that because I was the person that made sure that everybody knew the next year exactly what was where and where they were by size and color and all those important things. Now that my daughter is a preschool teacher living in Dallas, Texas, as Denise knows and has had an opportunity to meet, it's a matter of getting her home and being with our family here, and just, as with anybody, bringing out those things from your grandmother that were really special to you and always remind you of her, bringing something out, from a great grandmother, from a parent. I mean, just having that connection point. I think the holidays, no matter what holiday you celebrate, it's about the connectivity to the past and those who went before you, those who are with you right now, the things that you pass on to the next generation. So we think about that a lot in our family, and it's always a special time to be able to go through those boxes and find those things every time December rolls around.
Love that. Love that. Kristi, okay, how about you?
So Christmas is my favorite, and has been almost my whole life, I think, probably. It's one of the only holidays I really go all in on. And so now that I have a son, we do more for the other ones, but I used to sort of like skip over most of the holidays. So for me, I think it's
skip over Halloween. What?
Well, I always did I've done Chill Pumpkin Project for many years. And I put out candy, but like I didn't dress up and go do the whole thing. Now we get to go trick-or-treating with my son. It's a whole different world when you have a kid involved versus just being like the adult who and I have a very anxious dog. So Halloween is tough for her because if people knock on the door, she loses her mind. So we just always put out a bowl of non-food treats and food treats and let people come and get them. So anyway, Christmas, I think for me, it's about the fact that this is the one holiday where my family actually gathers all together and does a big thing. And so we've continued that. And it's smaller this year because of COVID. So we have a much smaller gathering, but I get to be with my siblings and for like seeing my son with his cousins. And that's one of my fondest memories is like the whole family, extended family coming together and getting to play with cousins that I didn't see all the time. And so getting to see that recreated with my son and his cousins is really special.
Awesome. We have the whole family gathering, and I was an only child growing up. So all of the cousins, like you were saying, like having all of the family and the cousins and the craziness of it. I love that. Makes it very fun and loud and colorful. And yes, it's very fun. So, okay, Jonathan, how about you?
Well, this might come as a shock to everyone on this, but I tend to work very hard all the time. So what I'm most looking forward to in my honest annual holiday tradition is I'm asleep a lot. I'm gonna bake some pies. I can't tell you what kind of pie because it involves a top 9 allergen. But I'm gonna do some baking and I'm gonna sleep and I'm gonna watch some movies. And I'm really, really looking forward to recharging. Because as mentioned in the last go around, 2022 is going to be busy. It's going to be great. So it has actually been a holiday tradition since high school where I for 2 weeks in December, I rest.
I have to, as someone with a young child, how many years until I can sleep in? Like at what age?
13.
That's not a thing on my days off.
That's when they sleep forever and they won't wake up, so they don't wake you up. It's awesome.
That's right. Okay, so I've got like 12 years to go, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Unless I had children so old, then I was waking up early, so I don't know.
Okay, so for me, it's super easy. It's hanging out and laughing and just having family together, being able to hug them. Everything that you all said. I'm not a big sleeper, Jonathan, but those in my family are big sleepers, so they would definitely get a lot of couch naps. Lisa, I agree with you, like taking those special whether it's an ornament or something that you do, or you do a recipe or even adapt a recipe from a grandma because of allergens that you have to adapt or whatever. And then of course, Kristi, I think that it's funny that you're just beginning your with your child and all of the different things that you can do to make the holidays special. I love, of course, wearing matching pajamas. And yes, my family actually does do it, and they don't fight me at it. Some people are like, oh my gosh, does your family fight you on it? No, I've been doing this their whole life. So they're used to my craziness. So as always, it's been such a power-packed episode. These fly by. I want to truly, truly, truly give my very best thanks and appreciation to my three guests. So thank you, Lisa Gable, Kristi Grim, Jonathan Kane, for joining me today. We are all so incredibly grateful for your tireless efforts. And to everyone at FARE, thank you very much, because behind the scenes, we know how hard you're working, and the food allergy community is so incredibly grateful. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And they say it takes a village, and we couldn't do it without all of you. And to everybody out there, we do want to wish you the very best of holidays and Happy New Year. And thank you for watching MOCHA Talk, and thank you for emailing, and we're here to help you every step of the way. And as always, we're sending love, rainbows, laughter, and gratitude to all. And like I always do, I love you sign language. Love you all. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.